Hi, welcome to my home. We're going to take a tour of Porcupine Pat's garden. And I have to tell you folks, I can thank a lot of friends that have given me some live plants and I had a chance to transplant them. But also, I get my seed from like the dollar stores, and I also patronize the discount racks at local garden centers. And for some reason, I seem to have a green thumb and the plants pop back. So I want to show you some of the plants I have already. Right over here is a plant that I got from my hometown in Marion, Ohio. This is Russian sage, and it has a great scent to it. It'll have blue flowers that are in clusters, and boy, do the bees love it. Now, I know there's a sidewalk here, but the bees are very calm, and I'm talking like bumblebees. They are not as aggressive as, any other type of bee. Over here to the side, this big clump here, that's one of my discount rack saves. This I paid just less than $1 for, 75 cents. It's called Shasta Daisy, and look at it now. It's now 4 years old. Every year it comes back even more luxurious, and the flowers are really big with white petals. It's a very nice daisy. Right next to me is another plant called coneflower, and I got this from a friend of mine, and they're a perennial too. Coneflower will have the purple petals on it, and bees and other pollinators really enjoy it. This is a lavender here, and oh, you pinch this, it's got a nice strong lavender smell. This is a flowering tree called Japanese tree lilac, and this is a good example of urban forestry. This tree is perfect for the sidewalk and the community environment because the roots don't go down into that deep, and they don't go into like sewer lines or water lines, and it doesn't grow too tall either. But you have to admit it's a pretty attractive tree. They have a lot of these in Pottsville, but there are two trees I have out front, and they're actually a memorial to my parents, who both passed away within a couple months of each other a number of years ago. So you can even see there's a small bees already flitting about in the back here. Here's the north side of my house, and I'm thankful for my neighbor Stevie, who lives right over there, but this is his property. He let me have this stretch right here on the north side, and I put, of course, dollar store seed in here, and oh boy, did stuff come up. This is one of my favorites. This is bachelor's buttons right here. There's a lot of blue flowers, and in the same mix, we have a lot of dianthus. So that was nice. And I actually found in the neighborhood here, alongside a creek, it was growing out into the sidewalk. I picked up a clump of sedum, and I had that down here, and I went back home to my homestead in Ohio, and we have ferns. So these ferns, every one of them is from Ohio. So, but right next to this isn't in bloom yet, but I have to say, this is another one of my favorite plants here. This is called lemon balm, and boy, when you pinch the leaf and you smell it, oh my word, it smells like a great lemon tea. And in fact, that's what you can do with this. You can take these leaves, you steep them in water, put some ice cubes in there, you've got a refreshing drink for a very hot day. Okay. Well, right here you can see a very common plant found along roadsides. This is called daylily, and you can see the buds right here. Now they'll turn into the orange bugle-like flowers, but believe it or not, the buds are edible. I could prick one of these off, chop it up, and put it in a salad. It'll taste like a green pepper. Another thing that's cool is look at all these buds right here. This is a prickly pear cactus patch right here, and every one of these is going to be a huge yellow flower. Now you're saying prickly pear, what's that doing in Pennsylvania? Well, it's a native And you can actually find it in the coastal plain area of Philadelphia and also around Erie. But people have it as, well, like I have, for landscaping. So, and it does prickle. There's certain times of the year when it's better to handle it. But prickly pear, you may have seen how they can make, well, a dessert out of it. It's kind of neat. But the yellow flowers are very attractive to pollinators, and they have a nice scent to them.
Okay.
Well, come on into my backyard. We saw the front yard. Well, let's go check out the back. Look at all these beautiful ferns too. Wow. Well, June, which this video is taped in, is Rose Month. And of course, this is one of those older versions of roses. This is actually a decades old rose that keeps coming back. And I have to tell you, it has a beautiful scent, besides a nice color. So as we go back here, you'll see I have peonies that were in bloom. Now they're on the other side of it. Here's coreopsis. I have milkweed coming here, and that's great for the monarchs. And in the back, here's my vegetable garden. But I still have some more planting to do here. That's horseradish in the back there. And here's cabbage, onions, broccoli. But one of my favorites is the elderberry. Look at this. And it produces edible berries for birds who really, really enjoy this. And elderberry is a neat plant. It keeps coming back every year, and it adds dimension to the garden here. So I certainly have a lot going on, and hey, if I could do it right here in the middle of St. Clair, I challenge other people to do the same thing, to help beautify our world and make it more hospitable for our friends of birds and critters, and of course pollinators. Thanks for coming.